Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. Got a really great story I want to let you guys know about. It has to do with inflation, 1970s compared to now, and try and open people's eyes to what is going on. Again, if you don't mind, hashtag inflation in the comments below. It really helps get the information out, and I think it's a really big deal, So the title is Producer Price Inflation Hits New Record High. Pricing pressures near the 1970s peak. All right. So it starts here. After CPI's transitory nature narrative busting rebound. So I'll give you an example. If you don't know what the transitory term is, Jerome Powell, our Federal Reserve Chairman, came out, and this is how all Reserve Chairmen deal with things when there's a crisis. They start to speak more publicly. Okay. When it's good, they stay quiet. When they got a calm or quell, I always get that word wrong, fears, they come out and they start speaking more publicly, and they always give some really fancy word, right? It's something different. And they said inflation is transitory, all right? And I was calling it back in the spring and said, no, they're full of it. Hyperinflation right now is transitory because we are seeing that in lumber, where lumber was literally going up 300-400%. That is hyperinflation. That's transitory because we saw it burst, and we're going to see another bout of hyperinflation coming soon in energy. You're going to see that in America here, probably in the next 90 to 120 days. And you're going to see these bouts of hyperinflation, but what's happening is inflation is skyrocketing, okay? So that was the big narrative in the spring, and now you're seeing everyone's like, oh yeah, okay, it's transitory. And now we're saying, no, you're full of it, all right? So says analysts expected producer prices to accelerate even further into record territory, and it did, jumping 0.5% month over month to a new record of 8.6% year over year. By the prints, they were modestly below the expected levels of, plus, it's hard to read these when 8.7% year over year. Sorry, it's hard to read these when you're not looking at them. At least it is for me. So it's skyrocketing. CPI is skyrocketing. And the sad thing is right now, I do not believe that we are over. It's going to get much worse, okay? Which is going to lead to that deflation. We're already seeing deflation in a couple of things, but really, by and large, we haven't seen it yet. We've got that seriously strong inflation going on. It says that goods, PPI, dominated the surge in prices, which was 40% of the broad-based advance, can be attributed to a 2.8% jump in prices for final demand in energy, all right? And then it says services PPI rose only modestly, but this is where it's very interesting. It says PPI final demand has a ways to go. Intermediate pricing pressures are nearing 1970s peaks. And finally, companies are under the most pressure to pass these price increases onto customers as the CPI, PPI inflation gap reaches a new record. Man, I can't stand acronyms. How about you guys I don't know, just spell it out. So here's my point. In early August, I started talking about the stories that were coming out, like from the Tyson Foods CEO, talking about inflation is here, get ready, it's about to hit Main Street, because what was happening was the producers are having to charge more to the middlemen because of the costs associated with building the product up or getting the product to the middlemen, the warehouses. Then the warehouses are about to start trying to, raise rates on the stores, and the stores are trying to stay competitive with other people. Now the stores are having to raise the prices for the consumer. See, because all the time, it goes through these different levels, the supply chain system of manufacturing, everybody in that supply chain is still trying, even though they're getting higher prices, it doesn't mean that necessarily translates to the customer or the next person down the supply chain line, because they're still trying themselves to stay competitive and keep their customers, right? So every chink in that supply chain, everyone's, the price went up. It's going to hit our bottom line, but we can't just raise prices because that guy over there hasn't raised his prices yet. And they're trying to stay competitive because they don't want to lose their customers. But eventually what happens is they succumb to the pressure of having to raise prices. And each chink in that chain raised the price. That one raised the price. That one raised the price. Now we're at the moment where the prices are being raised in the stores. The thing that's really scary, and this isn't FUD, this is real life. These are facts. This is how human emotion works. When you're seeing the news story about inflation all throughout the news right now, what happens is, for a moment in time, all right? I don't know how long it's going to last. The human being just becomes accustomed to it. Like, well, this is where we are. This is how it's going to be. We saw that with lumber in the spring when I was saying it's going up. And I said, hey guys, don't worry. It probably will still keep going up for a little bit, but it'll bust in July. And if you read the comments in there, there were a lot of people said, yeah, I'm not going to pay these high prices. This is stupid. I'll wait. But there's a lot of people saying, you don't know what you're talking about. High prices are here to stay. The dollar is being destroyed. It's going to be forever. And they were wrong, and it's proven. Now there's a little bit of a dead cat bounce right now, but again, just because people are running down to Home Depot and buying up lumber because it's at 2018, 2019 prices right now, it's starting to cruise up a little bit, but pretty soon they're going to find themselves in the exact same situation that they did in July, because they're going to care more about how much food costs and how much the gasoline in their car cost. Okay, so that is what happens. Everybody sort of just gets used to the higher prices. And then what happens is everyone's good. It's all in the news. It's cat's out of the bag. Deal with the high prices. Then what happens is everybody in that chain of, at this point, survival, but it's a supply chain, they just raise prices. They want to get their margins back to normal. They want to be back in the normal profit margin that they're accustomed to for the last 5-10 years. That's when we move into a slight hyperinflation, I believe. And that will be very quick, I believe, because what will happen is you will see so many businesses have to close their doors because people go, I'm not buying anything. I'm just like, we won't even have a Christmas this year. I mean, it's survival mode, and that's what people go into survival mode. And then your boutique shops and all the small businesses really have to suffer, and then the big businesses suffer too. But really, it's because of downsizing. Depending on where debt goes. Anyway, that's getting into interest rates. So I hope you guys got something from this. I know I'm talking super fast, but I think these are huge stories that are coming out today. If you haven't seen the video, I'll try and link it below in the about France decoupling from the United States. This is absolutely huge. With that being said, guys, I thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that's sharing these videos. It helps me out so much, helps get out the news. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be a very gnarly winter. Get ready, guys. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And if you're prepared for the worst, there's no fear when you're prepared. That being said, guys, thank you so much. The Economic Ninja is out.